So welcome everyone. This is a speed run. We have 5 minutes. This is a complex project, tons of protocols. So we're gonna go fast. So DeFiScan, the core concept is you take L2 bit, you know, they review decentralization of layer 2s. Well, that's useful, that's nice. But what about the decentralization of DeFi protocols? We don't know, it's complex. There is tons of things that can go wrong, tons of weight, dependency, oracle, tons of things that can go wrong depending on the protocol, and essentially it's a full-time fucking job to know just on Aave what is happening in terms of decentralization. That's where we come in. How much D is in my file? That's essentially what we do. So how does it work? Well, we have a framework, just like L2bit. We establish what decentralization means. Then we have toolings and resources. To do our analysis, we have permission scanner and a few of other things, completely open source, anyone can use. And finally, the part you're interested in, most likely, the website, where you find the reviews of the protocol. So that's DeFiScan.info. We just got a grant from the Ethereum Foundation. Yeah, we're legit. Okay, so the analysis is conducted in 5 dimensions. First one in chain is not the most interesting because essentially we're importing data from L2bit. If you're Ethereum, you are low risk. If you're stage 1 rollup, you are medium risk. Anything below, you are high risk. Other dimensions, upgradability, what can change in the protocol, how severe the changes are, can they wreck the user principal? Autonomy is a dependency of the protocol to Oracle, to other protocols. Is there something external to the protocol that can break and cause me problem, cause me loss of fund? Exit window goes with upgradability. Essentially, if there is a change to the protocol, do I have time to react, or is this just falling to my face overnight? And finally, accessibility. Do I only have one front-end to access the protocol, or is there tons of them? Can I host my own front-end? Essentially, if the government or whoever wants to prevent me from using this, can I still find roundabout ways to use it? So this is kind of how it looks like on those 5 dimensions. Each dimension has high, medium, or low risk. And this is essentially the global rating we obtain. So you have protocols that essentially we call non-stage 0, so they don't even qualify for being reviewed by DeFiScan, so they are not DeFi. Stage 0 is full training wheels. There are different ways you can get fully wrecked on your full principal, and there are critical dependencies to external services and so on. Stage 1 is limited training wheel stage, so that means the dependencies are contained as much as possible, and there's already a decent effort being made for decentralized protocol. Stage 2, no training wheels whatsoever. So you're talking about something that would live as long as the Ethereum network synchronizes. Those are the stage 0 requirements. They're pretty basic, but it's important because we need them to be able to conduct analysis. So it needs to be on a blockchain, of course, EVM with our current tech. The assets need to be also on-chain and not real-world assets or whatsoever. Public documentation that give us what we need to know, so we don't have to retro-engineer. Source available code base, very important. We can't review closed source code. And finally, verified contract, because same thing, we need to make sure that the code we're reviewing is actually the code you're running when you're interacting with the protocol. So this is how it looks like in practice. So here I gave you a zoom and I filtered essentially only lending protocols. But it's pretty interesting because it allows you to do comparison between the same category. So I remember recently, for instance, a compound, you might have seen it, decided to go do something with Morpho, and people were scratching their head. Oh, why Morpho? They could have gone with Aave, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe this will give you a bit of context as to why they made that decision. I don't know, maybe it was another factor. So quick metrics, we have about 1/3 of the total TVL in DeFi already covered on DeFiScan, and it's going fast. We were not even at 10% 3 months ago. 15 protocols reviewed total, and a roughly team of 7. In terms of latest review, this is just for the month of May. We got Aave Art, Morpho, and Sky with Lido and Pendle coming next, if you're interested into that. Anyone can contribute a review. We even have bounty programs. So if you're very geeky about a protocol and you would like to shine a light on its decentralization, you can do that. We're trying to drive the team to self-review as much as possible. They're not so willing to do it, especially when they're getting a stage 0, but that we are force reviewing them then, and it's no problem. But as much as possible, we're trying to do it collaboratively. Yeah, it's printed so much, I don't know. Do I have time for a question? Yeah, actually I have time for questions. So I don't know if you guys have questions, or else I can go back and tell you a bit more. I was stressed about this 5 minutes. Yeah, tell me. Euler is coming, yes. So we were on a lending protocol spree, and Euler, we are working with them. We put a bounty of $2,000 for the reviewers of that protocol, and I think it's in the process of being claimed. I mean, the guy is working on the review, so give us a few weeks and you should see Euler there. Yeah, I think it's pretty interested to see how he will fare. I think it's going to score well on that matrix.
Thank you.
Veda. No, it's not in the plan right now. We're really taking essentially top TVL and going through the list because we have an objective of TVL coverage. We want 90% before the end of the year, so that's quite ambitious. If you want to review Veda, you can do it yourself. You can go within the Veda community and tell them, hey, there is DeFiScan, you can review there. You'll find on the website, submit review. It's a whole process. You have access to all our tooling. Anyone can submit a review. It's re-reviewed by us after, of course, to make sure you're not, everything is accurate, but it's open. Anyone can harness it. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I guess maybe this one too. Okay, I can tell you that. So we don't have Curve there yet, but it's actually coming. It's a bit of a short story for Curve, but essentially Curve is a bit a DeFi archaeology in a way where the original Curve DEX was deployed years and years ago, and it's using a Viper version that is too old for standard tooling to be able to process it. So we had to find a little bit of a hacky way to essentially understand the whole infrastructures of smart contract on Curve and the permission. We found that with the help of the community. It's in progress. So maybe, let's say, a couple of months, you should have Curve on DeFiScan. And spoiler alert, I think it should do pretty decently.
I have one more question. Which DeFi protocols are the most decentralized in your rankings?
So at the top of the leaderboard, yeah, I should have put the full thing, sorry, but essentially I can tell you from memory. So on stage 2, you have Uniswap, V2 and V3. You have Liquidity, you have Pool Together. In stage 1, you will find Aerodrome, Velodrome, Morpho, and Aina Finance. Everything else reviewed is stage 0.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, Sammy.
So seeing the results that you're getting, right? I see most stuff is stage 0.
Yes.
Now, right? Do you think it would warrant to have a bit more granularity in the stage 0 and what it actually means? Because then you end up with the biggest ones in stage 0 and then you miss it. Yeah, you miss something.
So, yeah, no, it's a very valid point, and we're thinking about this. So I didn't show you here, but every protocol you can click, you have a very extensive report detailing everything and how we reach that conclusion, of course. So we really invite people to go look beyond that stage. But indeed, we understand that most people, they look at the stage and they move on their way. So we are thinking about that. Initially, we went with those stage because that maintains parallelism with L2-bit. So we figured it would be easier for people to grasp. But we're kind of in a bit of an identity crisis now. And should we maintain the parallelism with L2-bit or not? Because maybe we can actually do, I don't know, 0 to 10 scoring to reflect those limits. But also you have to acknowledge that, you know, most of DeFi is utterly extremely centralized under control of a few people that can push immediate change or that can completely deny the governance, alter the total logic of the protocol. This is standard. I mean, you know, Aave, no exit window or low exit window, multisig that is made mostly of internal. That's why it reaches this score. It doesn't come out of nowhere. For Sky, stage 0, well, critical dependency on a centralized stablecoin. Can you tell me something less centralized than that? It doesn't exist. It's the maximum amount of centralization. So essentially, it's just, yes, I don't like that picture neither. But it's a state of our industry. And for those who know me, I've been yelling on the roof for years about, hey, let's decentralize, look at this is bullshit. And I was tired of yelling on the roof. I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually establish a kind of agency to provide standardized review of that. And maybe people will start to mobilize if they see that 90% of the TVL is in stage 0. Maybe not, I don't know, but at least that's my path of action. Thank you.